Hello. I am Tamika Tolliver with Channel 6 News, Live on the Hour. As you all know, I have been documenting some new teaching pedagogies from our local school system in Madison County. This week's discovery is called challenge-based learning. We will talk with some teachers and administrators in Gurley High School about this wonderful teaching method. Mrs. Wilkerson, can you address the topic of how teachers feel about the CBL experience?
You may ask, how do teachers feel about it? Students need so much more than the curriculum material. They need that social interaction with their peers. When students leave school, they need to have a good foundation of critical thinking skills. We need to teach them how to think. And we can accomplish this with challenge-based learning.
Challenge-based learning, guys, it's just a collaborative learning experience where teachers and students work together. And they learn about compelling issues, propose solutions to real-world problems, and they take action. This approach asks students to reflect on their learning and the impact of their actions and publish their solutions to a worldwide audience. As we all know, students today have just instant access to information through technology and the web, and they can manage their own acquisition of knowledge through informal learning and have progressed beyond consumers of content to become producers and publishers. So the old traditional way of teaching is becoming less and less effective, and students are not as engaged or motivated, and they're dropping out of school, and it's so sad. So some very intelligent minds got together, and to make a long story short, to address the need, Apple Incorporated worked with teachers and leaders in the education community to develop a new approach to teaching and a new approach to learning, and they have called this challenge-based learning. It's just an engaging multidisciplinary approach that starts with standards-based content and allows our students leverage with technology that they already use all the time and incorporate it into their learning. It's really hands-on, and the students and teachers and experts in the communities and around the world develop deeper knowledge of subjects that they're already studying anyway, and they identify and solve challenges and make a difference in the world so they can feel like they have made an impact. It's really a phenomenal approach to teaching. I'm so excited about it.
Our students in this generation need to feel like they can make a difference in today's world. As teachers, we need to leave our comfort zones and embrace learning right along with our students, keeping in mind to not be in charge of what you think the outcome will be. The student's role is pretty straightforward. All hands on deck and participate in hands-on learning. They pick a team and work together to solve real-world problems. Take the big idea questions, break it down into smaller chunks. The benefits are, students gain a much deeper concept of the topic rather than just writing down and taking notes from an instructor. It teaches students confidence and reassurance that they can in fact make a difference.
As you know, in the 21st century workplace, collaborative and cooperative learning in the classroom is essential. Some of the best practices for challenge-based learning that reflects the 21st century workplace is to work in collaborative groups, use technology commonly used in daily life, tackle real-world problems using a multidisciplinary approach, and share the results with the world. This way, we will be sure to stay true to the intent, making sure our participants and students do these things.
Hi, thank you, Tamika, for interviewing me and taking the time to inform everyone about this wonderful new pedagogy, challenge-based learning. I am Mrs. Howard from Gurley Middle School. I guess I'll introduce myself. I was kind of apprehensive at first, to be honest, because I guess I didn't know, from a teacher's perspective, like how to prepare and even plan. But there are so many websites and videos, even on YouTube, that have really helped me to implement this in my class. So I've put together a little slide here, and you can look at the teaching, planning, and prep for this learning strategy.
Okay, so the teacher planning and prep. As we know, we've heard, about challenge-based learning, that it mirrors the 21st century workplace. The students, they work in groups and use the technology to tackle the real-world issues. Well, okay, for teachers, our task is to work with students to take the standards content that we already have, that we're already using, and just connect it to what's happening in the world and translate it into an experience that the students make a difference in their community. So it's really a no-brainer. We just kind of take what we already have and implement it. So there's no need to be apprehensive like I was to begin with. It's really, really phenomenal. And as I mentioned earlier, it's going to start with a big idea. And as we know, this world is full of potential challenges. We read the news and talk with community leaders, connect with the colleges and universities. You can check iTunes and so on. And your students can explore these big ideas and essential questions. Addressing all of these needs will result in a more meaningful and educational CBL experience. Some of the topics are health, education, relationships, environment. As far as health is concerned, you could discover and figure out how can we protect children from the spread of disease? What can be done about childhood obesity? Education, how can we make school more engaging? What's the purpose of education? Relationships, how do we stop bullying on the playground? Environment, why is preserving wilderness important? History, how can we honor our veterans? Citizenship, why is it important? And how can we have equitable elections? Sustainability, how can we consume less and reduce our paper consumption? Diversity, what role does diversity play in our school or community? How do we respect and value diversity?
Now, let us get a perspective from some students at Gurley Middle School that have had a changed experience challenge-based learning.
You let us go into a different world from outside of the actual school world.
Oh, we've never had projects like that. Yeah, we always write things or do kind of boring things, but here is different because we asked for someone to come here and then they did, so it's something really different from our other classes.
We could ask them questions and they could answer us.
While in the book learning, it's just kind of writing down the answer and showing your work, and here you're part of it, so we all kind of learned from each other. While in other classes, we learned from the teacher, and we all learned the same thing. While in this one, we all kind of learned different things about the subject, so it was like kind of outside our learning box. In other classes, all you have is like a paper and a pencil or a pen, and in this case, you can kind of open up more in your learning.
Here are some sources of research that the students can think about and use. iTunes U is the largest repository of free vetted education content. Scientific or government websites, online journals and periodicals, online special interest communities, school or public library, local, state, and federal government officials, faculty at local colleges and universities, staff at museums, historical sites, and science centers, and local experts, senior citizens, and hobbyists.
Well, the difference between challenge-based learning and my regular classes is that we have the freedom to show like how we want to represent ourselves and how we want to do our work.
And in here, it's kind of, you give yourself your own page and work on it, and so you have limitations in other classes, while here, your goal is to go outside of those limitations.
You let us figure it out by ourselves. You don't just give us the easy way out.
The biggest challenge for the CBL process is funding. Lack of funding to supply students with the necessary technology that they need seems to be an obstacle that many schools face. They want to implement this new learning process, but are not at liberty to do so. Please visit my Facebook page to learn how to donate money to schools in need of technology devices. Thank you for watching my documentary. I hope you will embrace this wonderful learning opportunity for the students of today. Check back next hour for more educational news from Tamika Tolliver with Channel 6 News, live on the hour.